What's up? It's Sierra.
Hey, it's Ebony.
And welcome to the Real Play Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are here still in quarantine and we took a break and we're back. It's been about 4, maybe 5, 6 weeks since we recorded. And so we want to just catch up with you guys, see how you're doing, let you know what we've been doing since the quarantine. And hey, Sierra.
Hey, Ebony. It's so great to see you right now, to talk to you right now. So I know we talked about this. We met up, was it last weekend? No, last week was Mother's Day
2 weeks
weekend.
ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. We met up in the parking lot
Yes.
of a local restaurant to get some to-go food. And we were like, we haven't recorded in a while. We should, record and let people know why we haven't recorded.
Yes. I think, and I'm going to ask you this question too, but for me, I honestly, just to give you guys a little backstory, and we've talked about like how we started this podcast, but doing this podcast, Sierra and I, we don't get paid. We surely do this because we love it and we have fun. And I think during this quarantine, it became almost like not a chore, but we needed, for me personally, let me speak for myself, I needed the mental space to kind of like pull back and say, okay, like make sure you're taking this time out to actually get yourself together, work on some things, just a space to breathe. So for me, in this quarantine, I've been working a lot more. I think a lot of people, so I work from home, and I feel like a lot of people think when you work from home, you work less. You actually work more because you feel like you have to be on all the time. And I'm a workaholic by nature in general. And so just the hours and the stress just from the quarantine and being in, and I was since I moved here, I was at such a high pace, like going around, like doing stuff with friends, doing stuff at church, just the level of, and I just thought about this right now, the level of activity I was doing before the quarantine, and then it literally just dropped to zero in a day. It really does mess with you mentally. You don't think of it in that way, but taking a break from this podcast just kind of helped me have a little bit more time. In the fact that, with this podcast, I don't know if any of you who are listening have a podcast, but there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. You have to obviously edit, you have to come up with content, you have to keep people engaged, you have to, it's like a never ending list, and it's daily. It's not, let me do this today and I don't have to do anything for, the next couple of days. It's a constant thing. So why was this break so important for you, Sierra?
This break was so important to me because like you said, 5 days out of the week, I am gone from my house. I leave to go to work around 9:00. I leave to go to work at 9:00. Sometimes I'm getting home at 9:30. So after work, I've always had activities. I've had meetings, you name it. And to go from that to sitting in my house by myself was a lot on me mentally. And on top of just there being a whole pandemic and not even knowing what a pandemic is, because none of us have lived through one.
True.
And every day was something different, something new coming out, or, a lot of speculations, a lot of stuff on social media telling you, what's going to happen. And, nobody really knew. And so having all that happen also while I'm in the middle of a grieving process. And so being around the people that I was around helped me with that. And so then to have to sit in it at home was hard, and to have no physical contact from a human. Like, I'm a hugger, I'm a hugger. I like to be around people, like, let's bump arms. I gotta have that touch a little bit here and there. And to like really be home, it was really, really, really difficult for me. And so I spent a lot of days, like, me and my couch have become best friends. We don't pull away from each other. Like, I slept on my couch. Like, I wasn't even taking the time to go upstairs in my room. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to watch TV. I'm going to just keep my mind busy, because sitting at home was starting to become like, it started to become overwhelming to just hear things and see things and not have an outlet. And to me, getting out and being around people was my outlet. And the podcast was my outlet too. But like I told you a couple weeks ago, it's like, I needed my mind to be clear and, ready to hold a conversation.
Correct. Yeah.
And record. I couldn't, like, I don't even know what I would have been talking about if we were trying to record during then.
Right.
Like, I was in a bad mental space at that first month of the quarantine. I had kept calling my mom like, Ma, I don't see nobody. Like, I clean the house, I cook, you know what I'm saying? What else do you do after that? Nothing. So the break helps me. I'm feeling much better. This weather has broken a little bit. It's like 70 degrees outside. The birds are chirping. I'm hearing them every night talking to each other in the middle of the night. So it's like the world just seems like it's opening up. It's becoming pretty again because it was starting to look real dark. So that's why
I said this to you before, but when I moved here from Atlanta, one of the things is I was strictly working from home, and it was just me, and I didn't have any friends. I wasn't really going anywhere, and I found myself in a dark place. And so I think you just helped me to see that that's probably why this quarantine was a little bit of a trigger for me, because now I'm it's almost a mirror back to that time where I'm sitting there, and reliving being pretty much by myself. And I want to touch on something that you said as you were talking, and it's sitting with yourself. I think that a lot of us as millennials, we have such a hard time sitting with ourselves. Like for me, this quarantine brought up something different, but I would have told you before, I don't mind being by myself. I love myself. I do love myself, but I will say when you're going through something, and it's mental, it's a hard thing to sit with yourself and to sit through it, like, and to acknowledge it and say, okay, what is this? Why am I thinking these thoughts? How can I move through this? Or just to sit and know that it's a process. That is a hard journey, and no one can take it but you.
It is definitely a process. It's definitely something that's uncomfortable. True. And there was many a nights where I slept with my hand on the Bible, like literally. I remember one day, because I do have to go into work sometimes. And I was up until 4:00 in the morning, like crying, praying, listening to gospel music, reading like everything. Like I was in it, and I just like, come on, like I gotta snap this. Like this is just, it's so overwhelming. And I wasn't like listening to the news. I was avoiding as much stuff on social media, like, the little memes and stuff people were posting, but you still feel it. You still feel that energy that the world is different. You go to the grocery store and there's nothing. That first time I went to the grocery store and it was completely empty, I almost lost it. I was like, am I in a movie?
Bro, me and you went to the store actually.
When we went to Safeway.
And we were looking, but it wasn't that bad then?
It wasn't, no, it was right after that. I went to the store again. It might've been a week later. When we went, there was some things that were gone, but the second time I went, all the pastas were gone. All the beans were gone. Of course, all the cleaning supplies, the toilet paper. And I was just like, this has to be like a Stephen King movie. Like, this is not, this is not real life. Like, I can't, this isn't happening. This is before we were wearing gloves and masks and all of that. Nobody thought of that at the time. But I had some really tough nights, went to sleep at 4:00 in the morning and still got up at 8:00 in the morning and tried to function like everything was okay. Which was hard.
That is I want to bring up 2 points. One, just to correlate with your story, the last time I went to the store, honestly, because I've been doing Instacart, is, and I think I told you about this, right when Maryland said that they were going to put in their stay-at-home order was the day that they did it. And I went to the store. I didn't have a mask, obviously, because this is before masks were mandatory, but a lot of people did. So this is my first time like going to the store since you and I went to the store. So I'm in the store and the line is long. There's tons of people. Mentally, it messed with me because I'm like, why are you close to me, ma'am? Move out the way.
You ain't 6 feet, back up.
Right. And then you get in line and people are so close and people you see, it feels icky. It feels like I need to go in my house and sanitize my house with some holy oil and never come back out.
Exactly.
Honestly.
I was taking my clothes off right at the front door, like, because you know, you just shoes off everything. I'm like, let me run up. I'm not touching anything. Let me take a shower, put my groceries on put the groceries out, spray them with Lysol. Like, I was tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I was doing it, but I was like, let me not be too generous with this Lysol just in case.
Because you got to keep it. Right. I haven't been able to buy any since it started. Everything I have is what I had beforehand, just because I keep cleaning supplies, you know? True. So I'm like, when I'm mopping the floors and stuff, I'm like, okay, only use the right amount.
Right, me too. And I'm so thankful because I have one of my friends, she always says, Ebony, like, why do you have so many products? And I'm like, because when I was in college and didn't have money, when I did get money, I would buy like 2 of something. And so I just kept that same process. So thankfully I am that person because I wasn't totally freaking out when everybody was like, I don't have Lysol, I don't have this, I don't have that. I had a lot of things though.
Yeah. So, and you said there was another point that you were gonna to bring up.
I forgot what it was. That's why you see me with this pen and pad, because every time you mention something, I write it down because I quickly listen. My mind ain't what it used to be.
I hear you, because you know our minds are cluttered.
I think it's been a millennial, honestly, because I used to be. You tell me anything, oh, I'm gonna remember. But being on social media, we can bring that up later. But social media, not really writing like I used to write. I started, even when I'm reading the Bible now, I'm starting to like read out loud because I'm like, I don't want to lose all of my skills, you know, due to technology. But one thing I did want to bring up is you sent me the song "Something Has to Break," and I hadn't heard it until you sent it to me. And thank you, because I've been listening to that the whole quarantine. Because
that's by Kiara.
Yes. And Tasha Cobb. So I would say anyone listening that needs a song for this quarantine to listen to Something Has to Break.
Yes, that was actually sent by one of our young adult leaders. And she sent it to us the same day I sent it to you. And she put it in our GroupMe and she was like, this is the perfect song, you know, listen to this, you know, write out what has to break, acknowledge what has to break in your life. Say it, and then, you know what I'm saying, type in the group, you know, something has to break. And so I was like, I listened to it, I was like, oh, this song is everything right now. And I think it had just came out because the video was so new on YouTube and stuff. So it has been helpful listening to gospel music, attending every last one of as many of my churches, like Zooms that I can. Like, I know we pushed this time for this recording back, and I forgot we had midday Bible study today at 12. So I was on that. But like, you know, being in the Word, reading, listening to the music, still socializing with people that's in your church or that's, you know, in your circle, just your friends, all of that stuff will help you break whatever negative feelings that you are having right now, especially for those who are by themselves, physically living by themselves, and are actually keeping up with the quarantine. Because just because it says it's quarantine doesn't mean everyone's doing it. Like, some people are still hanging out with friends, still going over to each other's houses, still having little mini parties, 4 or 5 people. But not saying I don't trust everybody, but I don't trust everybody. So
right.
I have been, you know, keeping to myself as much as possible. And thankfully, you know this, but my mom has gifted me with being a dog mom for the past couple of weeks. I am watching her dog. Her dog's name is Biscuit.
No, Biscuit.
Biscuit is a 12-year-old miniature pinscher. She's 20 pounds. She's a cutie pie. Doesn't have a lot of energy. She sleeps all day. She snores. She keeps me up throughout the night. But to have another human being here with me has helped. I know you said you've, you know, worked from home and been used to being at home and you're comfortable there. I have never worked from home. I don't. if I'm home, like I like to throw events. I like to have dinner parties. I had you over for a dinner party. I like to have game nights. I like to have people around me. I feel like I get some of my energy from just being around people and living beings. So the fact that Biscuit has been here, she has put a smile on my face. She's completely changed my mood. Outside of the fact that I've started to kind of just unwind myself and said, like, you know what, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Like God got us anyway. If if this goes on for one more month or if it goes on for 10 more years, like I'm good because God got it. And
Yeah.
he don't play about his people. So I'm okay. But to have her here has really lifted my spirits on top of just that. And the weather's changing. The weather, it does something to you
Yeah.
walking her all the time and feeling the sun on my skin. I love it. I need to be at a beach right now, but I ain't going to no beach. I'm not going to Florida. Anywhere that's open right now, I'm not about that. But I will sit in my back porch with her, or my deck, and we'll just sit there and get a little sun. She likes to lay out in the sun. She loves the feeling of it too. And that vitamin D helps bring the energy up. So I am thankful to my mom for letting me borrow the dog for the past, I think I've had her 3 weeks now. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about a couple of things when you were talking. One, I realized I do like being alone, but I actually like being around people too. I think that needing to be alone has a lot to do with the way I grew up and feeling like if I can't control something, then at least I can isolate myself. So I feel like that's the one reason that I tend to be alone by myself. It's more of a control issue, probably. Um, and which is something I want to bring up later too about counseling because I'll bring it up now. So one thing that has helped me through this is counseling. And honestly, I've only probably been in counseling like once through this thing, quarantine. But I talked about, the quarantine with the counselor, and I probably shouldn't say this. She offered me advice, but it wasn't really as helpful. So I talk about this, or have talked about this on the podcast before. Like I went through a lot in my childhood, and certainly people have went through way more than I've gone through. But I am in counseling, not that to basically to unlearn a lot of things that kind of happened in my childhood. And so this quarantine has helped me to kind of see myself differently too. So I'll give you an example. I told you that I was trying to switch counselors, right? Because
Yes.
I really didn't care for the counselor. And so when I went to the counselor that I wanted to switch to, she asked me to go back to my old counselor and talk to her. She said something that had to do like a discharge with me. So I went to and she said also it'll be good for you to be able to tell her. So at the end of the counseling session, I'll tell her, I'm like, hey, I would like to see the other counselor. And so she kind of seemed like she had an attitude, but it was helpful for me to kind of navigate that situation, like still be able to, and I'm an adult, and sometimes conversations get uncomfortable, right? But it was, especially when it has to do with like, I don't want the other counselor to look, their relationship to be different because I decided to go with another counselor. But I was able to kind of navigate that situation, and I didn't want it to be like, I don't like you, because that's not what it was. I just think that she wasn't beneficial for me personally. And even the last time, I think I met with her last week. It again was like, this is not a counselor that would suit my needs. So I think counseling has been helpful. Reading to me has been helpful. I just purchased a book called Cling. I only read the first chapter on a sample of it, but it should be here today. And so basically it's about your personal relationship with God and clinging to him. And so it's by Kim Cash Tate, I think. So if anybody's interested in like spending more time with God or looking for a book to read, it'll be interesting. I'll send you the link for it.
Okay, cool.
Or I can put it in the show notes too.
Yeah, I haven't been reading much, not for leisure, outside of the Bible, of course, for my discipleship class. And I did recently get Pastor Todd's book,
Yes.
Relationship Goals. So, my discipleship class, we decided we wanted to do to stay connected with each other. Even though we can't see each other in person, we decided we wanted to do a book club. I've never been in a book club. This is my first time. I
I
do
love
hear
books.
I hear that they're cool because, when you all get together and talk about it, like there's good food. Whoever hosts,
Mm.
brings food, but we can't do that. So,
Right.
I'll have to just make my own good food and sit in front of it. But reading that book has been probably the only leisure-ish book that I've even decided to crack open. But I know I probably should be reading more books regularly, but I just haven't been able to, not during this time. It's just my mind just doesn't want to sit and focus on reading. And as crazy as it is, I have not even turned the TV on the past 2 days.
Oh yeah, I never have the TV on.
I didn't watch anything at all yesterday. I have not turned it on yet today. And I thought about that last night. I'm like, wow, usually I have to have it as background noise when I'm trying to go to sleep. I need to have something to help me go to sleep. But me and Biscuit, we went upstairs last night. I talked on the phone and then I went to sleep with nothing. I'm like, wow, things are getting better. So maybe I will be able to mentally sit down and read some books. I still want to read Becoming. I haven't not read that yet. Just moving on to the next thing that I kind of want to talk about is just really why we're recording this podcast episode. And it's just a complete open mic. We don't have anything written out of what we wanted to talk about. We just wanted to check in with all of you. I know we've done a couple of posts on social media, just trying to see what you guys are doing for self-care. We do have an event that we're going to come up with soon that we want you guys to participate in, just so that we can all stay connected. I know we're a brand new podcast, but a lot of the people that are following us, that are listening to us, are people that we know. And so we do care about you, and we want to make sure that everybody is okay, basically. So just keep sticking with us. We're going to stick with you.
Yes.
And we're going to get through this. So I don't plan to take another long break, but we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I
So
don't plan to either. But again, I think the beautiful thing is, I feel like we are all similar in the fact that I don't think you guys are going to stone us to death if we decide to take a break. We are going to try not to, but if in the event that we feel like we need to take a break, we will let you guys know. And hopefully it won't be, a month or so, but
and if
it is, we'll let you know. Yeah, but I don't foresee it right now. I mean, hopefully everything is on the up and up, but and we've had a little bit of time to kind of deal with the quarantine and know how we react to certain things, and so yeah, I think we'll be good. I'll be interested to hear from everyone to see how they've been doing in the quarantine, and things that they identify with from this podcast.
And how the quarantine has changed your life. So we already we get it. We already know that if you used to hang out, if you used to go to restaurants all the time and sit for hours with your friends laughing and joking over brunch, you can't do that. So that's a known thing. But what are you doing with your extra time that you have at home? If you have kids, are you spending more time with them? Well, I guess you have to, because you got to teach them right now. The schools are closed. But if you have a spouse or a significant other, how is that relationship doing? What does that look like now? If you're by yourself, have you picked up any new hobbies? We've been doing this long enough where we can develop habits in 21 days. Are there new habits that you've developed,
right?
positive or negative?
I think too, a couple of things from what you said. I think for me personally, I get offended when people are like, "What are you doing with your time?" And I'm like, "What time? I don't get extra. There's no extra time in my day. It's the same amount of time." And especially if I, it's not like I'm not working, so I feel like the same amount of my time is taken up. Except for the evenings where I do have a little bit of a window. But even with that, there's always something. And also, I feel like I need to take a small bit of a break from social media too, because social media will have you thinking you're supposed to be out here. I need to be sewing. I need to pick up 10 different hobbies. I need to also clean out every single thing in my apartment. I need to, be Proverbs 31 woman when I walk out of here. I mean, I strive to have characteristics of her, but there's no way I can be, every bit of her after this quarantine. And I also, and I'll ask you this question because you kind of was asking our listeners, like, has the quarantine changed them? I think for me, I definitely realized that a lot of stuff that I was spending my money on was unnecessary. Except for books. I have a problem with books, but just spending money unnecessarily. And then also just knowing that I need to set, like, Jesus is the reason, and that's the one thing that matters. I knew that before, but I think this quarantine really reinforced that he is and will always be. And as long as I have him, I can go through anything. I think I'm also going to be more mindful of things now, more mindful of the environment, more mindful of my intake of certain things. And that's from, TV, media, music, listening to certain things people say, and
protecting your energy.
Protecting my energy. And I think I also learned, and so me and my dad had like an argument a couple of days ago, not like an argument, but a disagreement. And I really realized that you can't in life, like, take space within yourself to care about other people's opinion of you. And so whether it's negative, whether it's positive, whether it's like you only get one life, live it to the fullest. We don't know if Jesus is going to come back tomorrow. So to try to live out his will and also not be fearful. Like, I think fear, including, stops a lot of people, including myself. So those are some things that I've kind of picked up and noticed and said, okay, so when, not even when this is over today, like, how can I be less fearful? How can I have this one little, it's right here, so I can show you this little journal, and that I picked up a couple of years ago, but I pulled it out, and it says, do one thing every day that scares you. And I think that
that's good.
There is beauty in doing that one thing that, and it can be something small. I tend to hop books, so I'm a book person. I've said it a dozen times already, but there's this one book I've been reading called Atomic Habits, and it's really helpful because it's helping me put in perspective some of the habits that I already have. And sometimes the reason why we don't create new habits, again, because we're fearful of what can become if we start doing all these new things. And so I'm just slowly pulling all the pieces together and saying, okay, who do I want to be? And what does she look like? And not who do I want to become, who do I want to be? Because I think when you are creating healthy habits and you're learning different things, you don't have to become someone. You already are that person. So
I like that. I do like that. You've really
learned a lot, John. Learning a lot.
You learned a lot in these 6 weeks, or how long has it been? I really don't remember.
I don't remember, because do you remember when people were able to like get out of work, and my job was still making us like go into the office? So I feel like that was end of February, beginning of.
It must have been the beginning of March, because
March.
I
Okay.
know my party was the 22nd of February, and it felt like
Yeah.
it was not too far after that. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I had everybody over. I got to see
I was
them.
having a good old time.
Dose with everybody, love on everybody, and then right after that, it was like the world closed.
You had to kick us out.
I was like, bye. I didn't go to sleep. I got church in the morning.
I know, and I'm so sad because we used to love Copper Canyon every single Friday or Saturday, and here we are. It's so sad.
Yeah, the world will probably never be the same, but we will be able to go back to some of the things we used to do. We'll still be able to have fun with each other and, um, you know,
So
be people to be around.
some positives though. This curbside
Mhm.
restaurant is a positive for me. Now we have drive-throughs, right?
Yes.
But I do kind of like pulling up to somewhere and I don't have to get out and you can just bring my food to my car. Like, I mean, like real restaurants, not like Chick-fil-A or anything.
Hmm.
But
The
yeah.
only time I've done it so far is with you.
Okay.
I almost the other day, I almost did Mad Cow yesterday. They're
Ooh.
open, but
Do they have deliver like curbside?
it said they had delivery and they had carry out.
Ooh, I need to go. I haven't
They
been.
didn't have curbside. You gotta go inside. But I almost did that, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home and cook my own food because I had a recipe for coleslaw I wanted to make.
Wait a minute. Where are the meatballs that you were supposed to make?
I haven't made them yet. I just
Okay.
um the stuff the other day. So I have in my mind things I want to make, and so I gotta spread them out throughout the week. So I don't think I'm gonna make the meatballs today. I might make them next week just so that when I can take them to work and it's something super easy to
Oh,
just
true, true.
work.
To
So
heat up
anyway, yeah.
later.
But yeah, y'all, I've been trying new recipes. I've been on the grill. I've been baking. I am gonna make an apple crisp tonight. Might make some
Ooh, that
cookies.
sounds good.
I'm gonna make some veggie empanadas. What else have I made?
That sounds good.
I made buffalo Alaskan cod shrimp tacos yesterday. With homemade coleslaw. Yes, I did.
All right. You see, I'm over here saying nothing that I could absolutely.
I made macaroni and cheese one time. Like when it first started, I was so
Oh, I did that once. Yeah.
taken aback about how good it was. I was like, "Girl, you did
All
that."
right. What kind of cheese you use though?
I ain't gonna. I'll tell you, but I ain't gonna tell the listeners because they might try to make my little recipe or whatever. But
Oh.
I use more than one type of
I
cheese.
just want to make sure it wasn't vegan cheese.
Oh no, I use real cheese. I
Okay.
use real cheese. Um, and then I also, yeah, I'll tell you later.
All right. I think I asked when you made it, but I can't remember. I've been purchasing books. Y'all help me. I won't purchase another book. I also bought purchased a teapot and it's glass. I'll show you because it's on the stove later. But it's so tiny. I thought it was so bigger than what it is. Amazon will fool you. But I actually kind of like it, even though it was $20. What else did I purchase besides like books and I think that's pretty much. Oh, I did the massage thing, neck
Oh,
massage. Love it.
yes, I love that. I felt like the first month, I was just feeling so tense.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, I was drained. My body was tired from not sleeping. I was like, let me do something. And I got a shoulder massager that I absolutely love. And it will get those knots out. Like it's hard.
It
I got a
does.
back stretcher to stretch my spine out a little bit because I just felt like I was just tense. Like I was trying to do everything. I got a new yoga mat. I've been doing yoga in the living room, high intensity workouts in the garage, walking.
That's one thing
Um,
I need to start doing, working out.
I've been trying to do anything to just keep myself busy because being by yourself is just not fun. Oh, and so you were talking about buying stuff on Amazon. So I haven't gone Amazon crazy. And it's good because my bank account is looking real nice right now because I spend a lot of my money eating out, going to dinners and stuff like that. But I recently did a refresh for my living room. I ordered because I just wanted the space since I'm spending so much time on the couch and sitting in
Mm-hmm.
the living room. I wanted it to be brighter, more energy, just pretty. So I got a new rug. It's not here yet. It's supposed to get here Monday, I think.
Okay.
But I got a new rug, and then I went and got um, 6 different patterns of pillows. to go with my couch, to go with the new rug. And then the other stuff I really bought was stuff so that we can record, because we can't go to a studio anymore. So had to buy the mic, the setup, the lighting. I had to, you know, invest in what we're doing. But other than that, I've been trying. Oh, I did buy some nail polish. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I forgot all about the equipment that we purchased.
Yeah, because we can't, you know, we can't meet in person. We can't go to a studio. So we decided, we did our research and decided, you know, we had to go buy this equipment. And other than that, I've been trying to stay offline.
I won't buy nothing else, Sierra. You just made me, like, I purchased like that bistro set. I purchased some makeup offline. What else? And I got like a couple of, I'm waiting on my packages now. I'm stalking them like, where's my stuff, before I forget that I bought it. And then, you know.
Yeah, the pillows should come today, but I'm a little upset.
Where did you get them from?
I did get them from Amazon.
Okay.
So it's just the pillow, the covers.
I had purchased one. I purchased 2, but they're too small for my pillow, so I have to buy the inserts.
Oh, yeah. I just went with the pillows I already had on my couch. I measured them out to make sure I was getting the right size.
I'm not that handy.
So yeah, I have a tape measure. Like, you know, I just wanted to, you know, change it up. I've been trying to get candles when I do have to go to grocery shopping. I'll look and see if there's like candles. I bought some Glade candles. Those things are gone basically already.
Yeah, I love candles.
They're small. And I got new air freshener for the house, like the plugins, because I just want my house to just be, because I'm spending so much time here. It just needs to really be everything for me right now. So that's my thing of the self-care that I did. I'm trying to just brighten up my space and make my space feel just more homely. I know a lot of people come here and they're like, oh, your house is so homely and just so comfortable. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, let me change some things. Let me refresh it. And maybe that'll refresh my whole feelings on everything.
Yeah. So, is there something that you haven't done that you possibly want to start?
That I haven't done yet? No, not really. I do need to finish my garage. I started that, and my parents actually gave me a whole bunch of yearbooks and stuff from my elementary school.
Oh, how cute.
And I have been looking at that. And when it first started, a lot of us, we graduated in 2000. And so we're like, wow, it's been 20 years since we left 8th grade. Elementary school goes to 8th grade out there in Arizona.
Oh, I was just like, girl, when you graduated in 2000.
Yeah. So we were like, you know, let's just start a little Facebook group. So we started a Facebook group, and we were like, posting pictures. I even found the time capsule. And what's super funny,
nobody from my elementary school, middle school, or high school better even try to post any pictures. No, thank you.
It was, I got a laugh out of it because, you know, I was still cute back in the day, so I wasn't mad. But one thing that I saw in the time capsule that I laughed, and I have to find it, but I actually said that hair colors would change. And this is in 2000. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you know, 1999 and 2000. I said normal hair colors would go from blondes and browns to pinks and green and blue.
How do you know people weren't wearing those colors back then?
The only person that was wearing that color may have been Little Kim in her Crush on You video. People weren't walking around with bright color hair like they are now on a regular. I was like, look at little Cece. She just knew what was, and something else that I talked about. I was like, wow. And then apparently I want to be a zoologist.
Ooh.
I do love animals.
I can see you. Yeah, cool.
I do love animals, but then that's a whole lot of biology stuff you got to learn, and in science and math. And I think by the time college came, that dream was way, way far gone. Let's just do business. Let's keep it simple. Let's just do business. But I did love my biology class in college, but not that much. Not enough to go make a.
I just knew I was going to be a doctor.
I like dissecting stuff when we were in that class, but I wouldn't want to go to I'm not down for learning words that are like 20 syllables long. I'm not going to be able to memorize which letter goes. You know, these medicines come out now, and I'm like, who came up with this?
Yes.
And these some body parts, like nose, but it's really, you know, I don't have time to memorize all the medical terms for things. So that's why my mom's around.
Yes.
Just call her up, Ma. What's this? What's that? Here's a picture of this. You see, y'all, I fell down the stairs. The quarantine just had me all just so happy, but I fell down the stairs going down my back to my basement the other day. Ankle was hurting. First thing I did, I was like, Ma, here's a picture. The dog stayed upstairs. She didn't even come save me. And that's when I thought to myself, like, oh, wow, living home alone is kind of scary, because if I had broken my ankle, what was I going to do?
You got to take your phone everywhere. And I literally mean it, to the bathroom. I mean, people do it anyway, but anywhere you go, take your phone, because if you slip and fall.
I was like thinking in my head, I was like, man, if and when I fell, I immediately grabbed it and I just prayed, like, because I heard it pop.
Oh.
So I was like, Lord, please don't let my ankle be broken. Like, thank you, Jesus, in advance for healing me, for this not to be anything serious. And then as I had my hand on it, I stood up and I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. I can walk. And I just walked and continued doing what I was doing. But I thought to myself, like, wow, if this would have broken down here, I would have had to carry myself all the way up the stairs. And, I got a lot of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
All the way up the stairs, and my phone was right here on the couch in the living room. That wouldn't have been a fun, trip. So that's one thing that I thought about. And being alone during this time. Can't even call nobody. Can't even knock on my neighbor's wall and have her come over because she don't live there no more. So it's like,
I don't even know my neighbors for them to even try to
assist.
Yeah,
I'd have been something hurt. But
I've been trying new hairstyles.
I noticed you've been doing some new hairstyles. I told
glad everyone can see me, child, because
I just realized that's one thing I do want to do that I have not done yet, and that is to try to work on my makeup skills. I don't wear a lot of makeup often, but I have purchased a couple new palettes, and then I was gifted one by my line sister. And so I just do the basic light color.
People are doing like those Zoom, I know makeup. Someone, yeah, we could, I'll see how much it costs to take one of those Zoom makeup classes. That'll be fun.
We should. I want to learn. I want to learn some skills. I want to come out of here looking, beautiful.
I want to do a little.
Yeah. I want to learn how to put on lashes. Now, I don't want to wear them on a regular basis, but I just feel like that's a skill every woman should have, just in case you just never know. And so I haven't tried to yet, but that is one thing that I keep telling myself, like, one day, just go upstairs, give yourself 30 minutes and just figure it out. I asked a friend if she can help me, and she's like, yeah, I'll do a little class, a little tutorial, but I ain't followed up with her because the dog has been keeping me pretty busy. Like, walking her 3 times a day, feeding her twice a day, playing with her. Like, she's been keeping me busy. So I haven't been thinking about the little things that I was just going to use to take up time. But I do want to learn that before it's all said and done. So
when I used to get really, really bored, I was like 23 to 25. I used to play. That's how I started wearing makeup. I wouldn't, because, back in the day, we didn't wear makeup in like college and stuff. It was just, if we wore anything, it was lip gloss, a little mascara, and maybe eyeliner, but that's it.
I don't even think I wore eyeliner.
So once I got out of college, I started to like play around. I didn't want to walk out. I've seen so many people walking out looking crazy. And before I started wearing makeup, I was like, I'll never walk around. Like, I'll take it off before I'm looking crazy. So I would like wear like small stuff and then go out, or like try foundation, make sure I like it, take pictures. And then I would go out, with friends and say, hey, do you like my makeup? How do I look? Does it look blended? And that's how I started becoming comfortable with doing makeup. But even now, I feel like I do the same things over and over. So I would like to learn some new skills. But I also am just a simple girl, and I love lip gloss, and mascara is probably like my 2 favorite products, or a lipstick, and I'm good. So
while we're talking about that, I know that we're hopefully going to be talking soon with an episode on makeup.
Yes. So I'm hoping soon that we're gonna have an episode about clean beauty to talk about. And I actually, which is so great, I need to try it before that episode. There is this beauty product, and I'll talk about it in the next one. that I actually got samples of, and I can give you the link to. And so I want to actually try it to see, you know, how it holds up. And I think clean beauty is something that I haven't been aware of until maybe like, I want to say 3 or 4 years. It hasn't been long that clean beauty has become a thing. And I have a friend who is in that arena, who knows about clean beauty, knows the downsides of not having access to clean products. And I think as not everybody is people of color that watch this. So let me just say, sometimes people of color, we don't have access to healthier products. And so I feel like that'll be really helpful. Like also little things on like packaging that I didn't know. So lip gloss expires. This says 12 months. I'm pretty sure, I'm telling you this now, 9 times out of 10, if I still have this lip gloss, probably won't happen because I use lip gloss a lot. But if I have this a year from now, I'm probably still going to use it. So it's not, we don't really pay attention to like labels and stuff on beauty products. But
yeah, I know that recently did come up. I can't remember what I was listening to or watching, but yeah, all of them have expiration dates. All of them have shelf lives where, you know, you're not supposed to use your compact, you know, it's your summer color, so you use it one summer, and then the fall comes, so then you use your other color, and then when the summer comes back, you go back to it. Nah, there's so much bacteria that's been sitting there for that year. You need to throw it away and get another one. I know sometimes makeup is expensive, so you're like, I don't really want to do that. It'll be fine, but you got to think about it. And then the brushes that you have, you're not always sanitizing them like you're supposed to sanitize them.
But it also makes you want to buy like smaller quantity of products. Because if I can't, you know, I have a winter color and a summer color, but if I'm supposed to throw this away like every once in a while, then I don't want to buy like a large package of something. But I also don't want to pay like some of these makeup brands that are coming out with a small little blush or highlighter, and it's like $30-$40 for one. I'm like, okay. I guess in the grand scheme of things, if you're only using it, repurchasing it once a year, maybe you can get your money's worth, but I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like I go back and forth. It's like, get what you pay for, but I'm also saying, like, you're being ridiculous. How much did you pay for these ingredients?
Exactly. Not much.
Right. So I'm excited about the episode when we record that one. And we're also excited to see like what episodes you guys would want to hear from us. So make sure you DM us, or, you know, we're on Facebook. You can send us a message and, you know, hit us up. Let us know what you want to hear.
Facebook, Instagram. We got some ideas of what we're going to have coming up in these next couple of episodes, but there's something that you have on your mind that you want to talk to us about. If you're a podcast yourselves and you guys want to collab on something, you know, just, you know, let us know. And we are here to listen, and we're here for you. So we're not going to just say absolutely no, we're not doing it just because you want to do it. Like, that's not what we're here for. So I do want to thank you guys for listening. I know we just we're talking. And again, like I said, this was just an open mic to let you know where we've been, let you know that we are okay. We are feeling much better. We're getting kind of used to this new normal, and we hope you are too. We are praying for you, and we're hoping that everything is well with you as well, with your families and your friends and just everyone that's associated with you. So we'll be here, and you will be hearing from us soon.
Very soon. And thank you guys for letting us leave and come back and still listen and taking this journey with us. Like we said in our first episode, we're so excited to be able to share and to learn and to listen. And so thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
And with that, all right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms at The Real Play Podcast.
We would love to hear from you, so leave us a comment, DM, or voice note. And don't forget to come hang out with us on our next episode.